WWE Backlash 2026 is in the books, and Jacob Fatu just stole the show. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it after we roll the intro.
Backlash.
All right, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Backlash just ended. And what'd you think of the show there, buddy?
You know what it was? I thought it was really good. It was, 3 hours, just came in a tad under 3 hours. I thought it was great, entertaining. I fast forwarded between a lot of the match. I started it late. We had a function at my daughter's high school tonight. Say real quick to her, congratulations to the Woodhaven High School Theater Group for putting on a great night of Mamma Mia, my daughter's first musical. But after that, I went home and I fast forwarded through Backlash so we could record tonight. And it was good. The energy in the crowd was huge, particularly for Obafemi when John Cena talked about him. The crowd absolutely popped. That may have been the loudest pop of the night. But the second of the night, man, the crowd was behind your boy Jacob Fatu. That was one of the first matches I've ever heard where, yes, there were people chanting for Roman, but I think people were more behind Jacob for the first time that I've ever, again, seen anybody against Roman Reigns get more cheers.
Yeah, I agree. I think, other than one particular match, which we'll maybe talk about, I thought 4 of the matches were strong. I thought it was a good follow-up to WrestleMania Night 2. I think Night 1 was terrible.
Yes.
But overall, I think, some of the younger stars, Bron Breakker, stuff like that, but Jacob Fatu in particular kind of stole the show. I think they proved they belong. They were up against, top-tier guys, and they didn't look out of place in those spots, right?
Right. Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Bron Breakker just, I was disappointed to see him beat Seth Rollins, my favorite wrestler right now, but he just really, he's moving up. He moved up another level tonight. He's he needs to be put in the main event picture right away. Yeah,
he does. But speaking more of Jacob Fatu, that's my guy. I do like Bron Breakker, but Jacob Fatu, I've been fanboying with Jacob Fatu for a while, right? He came out looking like a huge star at the end of this. He lost.
Yes.
But I think he gained more out of this loss than he would have got by winning.
Right.
And I don't know if that is normal.
Yeah. I mean, if he wins, where does he go? Right now, Roman is the king of the hill in all of wrestling.
Yeah,
and this gives them to build up another match. It's not going to end here, so it gives Jacob to continue playing the underdog role. Roman had everything served to him on a silver platter when he was a kid. Roman didn't beat me clean. Roman had to cheat to win, whether he cheated intentionally or not. I couldn't really tell who pulled the turnbuckle cover off, but Roman did throw Fatu into the cover and then hit him with a spear. That was like the 3rd or 4th spear of the night. He had hit him with multiple Superman punches.
Yep.
And
off the top rope, one of them, right?
Jacob Fatu just absolutely refused to lose tonight. Yep. It reminded me going back to the Bret Hart Stone Cold match, one of the best matches of all time. And Stone Cold just refused to lose. He ended up passing out in the face of his own blood, and that's what was going to happen with Jacob tonight. Yeah, he wasn't going to lose. It took him getting knocked out with the turnbuckle,
Yeah, I think that might have been a better ending. I mean, I know WWE tries to stay away from blood and stuff like that, but if Jacob Fatu kept fighting until he was a bloody mess, kind of like the Stone Cold thing, then lost because he just couldn't keep going.
Yeah, I don't know that Roman has a type of submission move where they could have did something like that without the blood.
Yeah.
But I mean, him getting knocked out on the turnbuckle and not, and then just absolutely, after the match retaliated, looked over and it's like, I told you this wasn't it. This wasn't it. I told you I'm not, I am not going to salute. I am not going to acknowledge you. I'm Jacob Fatu. I'm not falling in line.
Yeah. So. I mean, he was like, I told you at the end and all this stuff. So, no, I think the match was great. As was most of the matches. Roman was Roman. Roman's always good. No issues there. The crowd was going crazy. I think it was solid. I think it was a really good match. I do still wish Jacob won because that would have been the swerve that no one saw coming. But
I think they're building
went
toward
safe.
it. I would not be surprised to see a rematch between these guys at SummerSlam. And
I still think SummerSlam's going to be Oba for the title.
I'm going deeper. I think Oba's pushed down the line, but we'll see where they go for here. So,
All right. So move on.
yeah.
Oh, hang on. I'm messing up the timer here. All right. So our next topic, Jeff.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. He just doesn't feel untouchable anymore.
No, but I think that's a good thing. I was really caught off guard the first time Roman hit the spear and the Superman punch back to back. It was rather early in the match, and I knew the match wasn't ready to be over. But Fatu kicked out immediately, jumped up and, did his little shake dance and hyped up in front of him, kind of reminiscent of some old school wrestling and all. But we'll get to that a little later. But yeah, no, Roman definitely, he's got some chinks in the armor, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a new angle for him. He came out the last few matches. He hasn't had the Usos or any of the bloodline down there with him. Even the last couple weeks, the Usos have said, we've got your back, but Roman has said, no, I want to do this on my own. So maybe this is kind of a new angle for him to go away from the heel, be more of a face, and he's gonna have a few victories on his own before he loses and then retires. So it'll show him a little bit more beatable, but not quite ready to be beat just yet.
Right. I mean, but think about it though. If he was the one who actually, and I'll have to rewatch it. Maybe you guys can comment down below and remind me, or remind Jeff, remind us. If Roman pulled the turnbuckle off, that's a heel move. It's not a Roman being a good guy move. That is a heel move.
Yeah.
And the same can go the other way. If Jacob pulled it off, that's a heel move.
Yeah, but some of our biggest faces of all time have had heel moves. We like to joke around about an old SummerSlam with the tag match with Hulk Hogan against Zeus, and Zeus wouldn't go down until Hogan hit him with the bloated purse.
Well, it's because the guy was unstoppable.
Yeah,
he was unbeatable. You couldn't touch him.
Yeah, that's Fatu right now. Fatu took out the entire. He retired almost all the MFTs solo, except solo. But I mean, on his own. But no, it's just.
But I mean, what happens now? Right? What's next? So you're gonna have Roman for, I don't know, a couple more Raws or whatever coming up, and then he's gone for a month.
He might be gone now. I bet this is they use this angle tonight with this attack post match, as a way to write him off for a while and give him a break storyline.
But now they're going back to no champion again because the champion is gone.
Yeah. I think we're going to see Fatu going up against Solo and the MFTs again. It looks like maybe he'll buddy up or form a little faction with Royce Keys, something they could do with him.
Yeah, they've been teasing that a little bit.
They got similar backgrounds and all. But, I don't know. It appears, I know there were some rumors last week that.
Go ahead.
That there were rumors that other wrestlers, big name wrestlers, were asked to take pay cuts. Mm-hmm. And there were,
That's kind of where I was going.
Yeah, there were some hints that maybe Roman was one of those names, and maybe that's why he kind of disappeared off the cards. But they left a title on him, so
yeah. And apparently, from what I've read, what I've seen, they have no concern about Roman. I've heard mixed things about them taking pay cuts. Some say he could have been involved in that. A lot of things I've read say the top so much percent, are not involved in that. So not sure. Hang on, I got to fix my thing.
Yes, sir. Fix it. Yeah, it's just, I've seen the same arguments that TKO's arguing that, that we're wrestling less. You're not doing as many house shows. You don't need to, you don't need to be paid as much. But who chose not to have as many house shows? The wrestlers, but whatever. That's
I think the wrestlers are weird about that, right? I think they like not having to wrestle 300 times a year. They don't like that, but at the same time, they feel like getting rid of them kind of hurts at least some of the newer guys who are coming up who need the reps in front of a crowd and stuff like that. I mean, when I went to that house show in December, that was bigger than any NXT show. So when you have these NXT guys coming up, they're coming up from, 2,000 people in the crowd to 15,000 people in the crowd, right? And that's going to be different no matter how good they are. So I think there needs to be some kind of balance there. Maybe do house shows with just, I don't know, the new guys or something. I don't know how they would need to do it. But last thing on this, right? Cody Rhodes, surprisingly, Jacob Fatu, Bron Breakker, Oba Femi, they all feel like they're the guys right now. They feel way fresher. Like Roman is fantastic. He is great. But his shtick is kind of the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And we need something new on that, right? I know Cody's the top of the mountain on the one brand. So we need something new on the other brand. And I think tonight would have been a great chance. Give it to somebody else. If he fails, they can take it off him. I mean, whatever. But
right. But I think that's what they're doing. They're building Roman up one last time. Like I said, as a solo guy, he's going to do it on his own. He's not going to have the Usos there helping him. And then whoever puts him over, whoever he puts over, whether it's Fatu or Obafemi, it's just going to launch them to a brand new level. Maybe it's Bron Breakker, but they're building him back up to put somebody over. So we'll see who that is.
So I mean, kind of like speaking on that, right? Bron Breakker, Obafemi, right? They're the WWE's future right now.
Yeah,
those two guys, and you could probably make a case for some other people, but those two in particular. Yeah. Are the face right now, right? Bron Breakker beat Seth Rollins tonight. That's huge. Yeah. Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's huge.
He's got John Cena calling him out by name tonight.
Yeah, the crowd chants for Obafemi when he's not even there. Yeah. So it's crazy, how popular those guys are, and they're more organic. Right, they're not just forced down their throat like someone like Roman Reigns is.
Back when he first came out, and then The Rock when he first started, they tried forcing these names and these familial names down people's throat. Where Bron Breakker came from a family, they didn't shove him down the throat. He came up slowly. They put him down.
This is his uncle.
Yeah, Rick Steiner.
Rick Steiner.
But they brought him up to. They didn't throw him in the heavyweight picture right away. They let him go in the mid card. They kind of tested him as a heel, tested him as a face, and they kind of waited to see what worked best for him. And they didn't shove him down and put him in the main event picture right away. So Obafemi, I mean, that's another one guy. They just put him out there, and the crowd supported him, and you've got to give the crowd what they want.
Yeah,
and
you have to. But unfortunately, WWE doesn't seem to do that a whole lot. They kind of have their own agenda. I don't know how far out they write their storylines. From the things I've read, they write them last minute.
I'm sure they have long-term ideas, but sometimes they have to make short-term adjustments based on injuries or how the crowd's responding or whatever. But yeah, it's good to see the faces getting these, like you said, organic pushes, and you hope that at next year's WrestleMania, we see some of these younger guys in the main event pictures, and it's not Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and that main 4 or 5 all over again. Yeah,
and we probably will see that again, I'm guessing, but I'm hoping it's those guys against some of these new guys.
Yes, that would be the hope that it's young versus the old. You see the passing of the passing of the torch going back to
which I think Brock Lesnar did that great. Yes. I think he did the passing of the torch to Obafemi, but they haven't done anything with really Obafemi since. He beat Otis and he beat Grayson Waller since he retired Brock Lesnar. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense to me. I mean, yeah, I know the other big name guys are tied up in storylines right now, but there's got to be somebody bigger than Otis.
There's not much bigger than Otis out there.
More popular than Otis, a bigger whatever than Otis. I mean, have him put him in the mid card title scene or something, right? Just to do something.
Well, Penta's so over right now, and I don't think they want to put.
Problem. Penta. Well, who's the other one? Who has the other title? Oh, Trick Williams.
Trick Williams. They're on opposite brands, though, opposite shows. So
I don't know, but there's got to be somebody else besides Otis and Grayson Waller that Obafemi can be beaten up right now.
People love Oba. People love chanting Oba. People love the strut, but that can't be just it. He's got to have a major rivalry, and he's got to be out there.
Yeah, there's got to be something for him to do. So, I mean, who do you think's going to be the next big guy? The top tier guy? Say Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. They all retire tomorrow. Who's the top guy?
I'm going to go, as much as we like Oba and we like Bron Breakker, I think Trick Williams has the complete package. I think he's a little bit more charismatic than the two of them. He's a little bit better on the mic. Not that Oba's not good on the mic, but I think Trick Williams, of that younger group right now, I think Trick Williams has the chance to be the top of the top. Him and I don't know. Dom I like a lot too, but I would put, of those, the young wrestlers right now, I would put Trick Williams as having the highest ceiling in my mind right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, actually, Jeff. For one rare moment, I'm going to agree with you.
Yes, look at that.
I do think Trick Williams probably has the highest ceiling. I think Bron Breakker, though, is right there. So is Obafemi. Any of them are just one major win away, and maybe tonight was it.
Yes.
For Bron Breakker, anyway.
Bron Breakker's a little smaller than Obafemi. He's a thick guy, but he's like 5'9", 5'10",
Yeah,
maybe
the dude
6
runs
foot.
100 miles an hour.
I'm just saying, if you look
And
at
did you see the video of him bench pressing 410 pounds like it was nothing?
I didn't.
While he trash talked Seth Rollins.
I didn't see the video, but I heard him talking about it
The
tonight
only
on
other person I
Backlash,
know that can do that is me.
I know you were trash talking the other day when we were planning our cards, making fun of my poor excuses for debates and whatnot. So.
That was amazing. I don't know. Pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Next topic, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
My timer disappeared. Hang on. Entertain them.
Yeah. So right now, the WWE feels, really amazing at times, and then other times it completely confused. Io versus Asuka was a really good match tonight. Roman and Fatu was the match of the night. Probably the match of the year so far.
I don't know. I think that was a really good match. I do. As far as this card goes, I enjoyed Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins more.
Oh wow. Okay.
Not that those other two matches you mentioned were bad. I think they were great. I just really liked, for some reason, I was more into the Seth Rollins Bron Breakker match. I don't know why, but I was.
I was into it. I just thought it was predictable. I mean,
every match on this card was predictable. That's why I went 5 for 5 in my predictions.
Yeah, but like you mentioned earlier, they did make you feel that Fatu was going to win a couple times. And by predictable, I mean, I kind of thought the Usos might come down at one point, or Solo and them might get involved, and they didn't. But I knew the Vision was going to get involved, and they did. And so I don't know. I just think the Roman match kept me a little bit more on the edge of the seat. But
which is fair. I think that was a great match. Me personally, I like the other match just this much more.
And where I think there's some confusion among fans, and is some of the goofy stuff they're doing. I like a lot of it. I don't like all of it. You hate it all. You almost stopped watching wrestling in the last week. But the gingerbread funeral, I think, went on a little too long. I thought it was a little funny.
It went on too long. It was the main event of SmackDown. It was full of AI, which a lot of people online are complaining about. And what was the payoff? Lil Yachty sitting up like the Undertaker.
Yeah,
I mean that was the payoff. I mean, it was just stupid.
We did that dumb. 2 weeks ago when Sami Zayn was in the costume, so they ran the same gimmick back.
And then tonight I was in Discord complaining about the Danhausen match, right? So hopefully, I mean, spoiler alert.
They're watching a video after a recap video.
He has his little cloning thing. Everyone's expecting like a real wrestler to come out, and it's a little people wrestler dressed up like Danhausen, and then Kit Wilson throws him back in there and someone hit the button again. I don't know who did.
I think when he closed it, it just auto restarted.
And then a bunch of little people came out.
Yeah. And again, we did that at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like he had all the little Housens at WrestleMania. So I don't know.
And remember when Danhausen first was that at Elimination Chamber?
Elimination Chamber? Yeah, I think so. When he first appeared in the box.
Appeared in that stupid box, get rid of the frickin' box, right? Because that does nothing. It is awful.
Well, TKO's cutting costs. So they have to reuse some props,
they're reusing
gimmicks
props
and whatnot,
now.
reuse storylines.
But it was so bad. I hated it. It was so bad.
I was surprised that the little people wrestled more than Danhausen. That's the one thing that caught me off guard.
I'm starting to wonder, maybe Danhausen isn't as good of a wrestler as I thought he was.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember him wrestling in AEW, and he wasn't great, but he was decent. Here he just kind of
flips and flops, and I think the wrestling that was done was more on the Miz and Kit Wilson. I think they gave the performances of the night was selling some of the moves from Danhausen and the Little Housens.
The one thing that I wrote in our Discord was, and I stand by this, if I was the Miz or if I was Kit Wilson, first off, it'd be a lot cooler than I am now.
I don't know about that. You were benching 405 pounds the other day while trash talking.
410 pounds.
Oh, I'm 410.
Maybe it was just 10 pounds.
Oh. It's 400 times.
Anyway, 400 times. If I was either one of them, after that match was over, I would have went straight to the back to Triple H and demanded my release. I would have asked to just let us go.
You don't even have to threaten a pay cut. Just let me go.
Just let us go, because that was awful. Those Kit Wilson, I know he's not a superstar, but he's a decent wrestler, right? The Miz used to headline WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I know I complain all the time about we need new guys, not old guys. I'm not saying for guys like The Miz to, okay, we need new guys, not old guys, so let's just put The Miz in a goofy angle now. I'm not saying that. Miz should be still having a purpose. He shouldn't be headlining WrestleMania anymore, but he should still have a purpose. And this match served zero purpose, but made The Miz and Kit Wilson look like fools.
When The Miz was wrestling and he was a main eventer, wasn't he kind of goofy back then as well?
He was goofy in the way that he was a cocky wrestler.
Yeah.
So he was goofy in that way. Not this slapstick comedy. I mean,
he's in all these roles though. He must enjoy this, or I don't think.
Well, I think he just enjoys having a job.
That's true.
That's probably what it is.
The American Gladiator checks aren't cutting it.
I'm sure they are, but I mean, did you see his house when
Yeah.
Danhausen was sitting in his pool? I mean,
Danhausen was in the pool.
I'll take that house any day. But anyway, Jeff, let's move on. I could talk about
your problems.
My
you want to
problems.
talk about your problems? Well, let's talk about the TKO problem, how it's becoming more visible in wrestling. So,
all right, let's talk about TKO being
massive. It
douchebags.
came out the other day that their first quarter earnings call and the executives got some major bonuses. Which was absolutely terrible
What
timing.
a great time for that to come out, huh?
I think one of them got a 50% pay increase or a 50%,
and he was already
bonus
making millions of
increase.
dollars.
And all this coming out while they're asking wrestlers like legends like Kofi Kingston, like he was a champion as well, to take a pay cut and on a contract he signed less than a year ago.
Yep.
And just letting him walk because you guys.
One of the guys, I don't remember who it was. I'll see if I can find the thing. If I can find it, I'll put it up. But no promises there. But got a bigger raise than all of the people, all of them that they released were making combined.
Yeah.
His raise was bigger.
It's an ongoing problem in the U.S. right now. It's just we're gonna pay our CEOs extra to take away from all the little people.
And don't forget, not only was it bad timing that they announced that, but they also announced WrestleMania was one of their highest gates ever. They announced how much money they made in the last year or whatever, and it was like bazillion dollars or whatever it was. And then they release these guys. Now, I'm not saying just keep everybody, right? I'm not saying that. Some guys just, you're not getting over with the crowd. You got to go, right? And I understand that. But you can't release people then in the following week talk about, okay, we let those guys go for cost cutting, but hey, we made so much money. Now we're going to give our top guys who don't wrestle, who aren't on TV all the time. I'm sure they have hard jobs. I'm not saying they don't, but we're going to give them $5 million raises.
Yeah, we're gonna double their salary while we're asking our bread and butter, our wrestlers that are on TV that are bringing in all the money. We're gonna ask them to take 50% pay cuts.
Yep. And then what else do they do? More ads.
Oh my God.
More ads. The Barks Root Beer ad tonight made me throw up. I will say it was probably, I'm sure there were other ads mixed in that maybe I didn't catch or maybe I just tuned out. But that one in particular stood out the most to me. It was a better, Backlash tonight was a better show for ads, I think, because they weren't as rough, but there were still some.
Yeah.
But the ads like SmackDown
was
awful.
terrible. I think
it was like every 2 minutes there was like a 5-minute commercial.
I think every match had 2 commercial interruptions.
Yeah.
Once,
we were texting during that.
During the introductions, and then once about halfway through the match. And you know what I've noticed, like, whether it's the venues they're going to or whatever, it's killing crowd energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because these crowds
because the wrestlers have to stop basically and just
at the beginning
stall
of the match. Yeah.
Whenever these things happen.
And then mid-match, they just, the lights go out. You know when you're in the arena that it's a commercial. And at that point, you know nothing exciting is going to happen in the match. The match is going to end, so why am I going to pay attention? Why am I going to cheer? Why am I going to do anything?
And speaking of SmackDown, real quick, this doesn't really have anything to do with this. It has more to do with the last topic we just did. But I watched a video today when the Gingerbread Man funeral was going on. People were leaving in
saw that.
Groups, just leaving because read the room, WWE.
Yeah.
No one cares about that crap, right? Nobody cares.
So just a little behind the scenes, when we're talking about and planning about our show, we want to save one of our big topics for the end because we want you guys to stick around and watch till the end. The WWE should be saving their main events. That's why on a PLE, the main event is the last show of the night because you want people to stick around to the end. If they put Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker and then Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu as the first 2 shows of the night, they're going to lose some of their audience. Nobody's going to stick around.
I was really confused by that, too, because the ESPN on Backlash tonight, the first hour was free like they did for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And the first match was Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
And then the next match was, what was it?
Was it Trick Williams?
Yeah, Trick and Sami Zayn. Those are 2 of your biggest matches.
Yeah.
There's only one big match left. On a card with 5 matches, 2 of your big matches are free. Your other big match, is going to be your main event.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It is what it is. But Jeff, something else was announced tonight on Backlash that has me confuddled.
As speaking of being confused by everything TKO's doing, John Cena has been advertising all week that he had a big announcement. So he came out and he made his announcement last night. And he announced that he's going to be putting together his own PLE, the John Cena Classic. And he talked about how his last Saturday's main event, how he incorporated the younger wrestlers.
Which was cool. I liked that.
Versus the established wrestlers. And I was like, well, that's really cool to do something like that once a year, a couple times a year. I was really excited by that. And then he went on to explain it. And I lost interest as it went on.
I think I gained interest. Not in that, but I gained interest trying to figure out what the hell he was talking about. Yeah. Because it didn't make sense. Right? So let's get it right. So he's going to hold this pay-per-view.
Yes.
At first, I thought this was what was going to replace the Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
Coming up. That's what I thought he was going to do, but he didn't allude to that. So maybe
he didn't say when. He didn't say where, how, when, how soon.
He didn't say how
anything,
frequent it's going to be or whatever. But basically a tournament, and then there's a new title that someone can win, basically, right? My first question is, okay, if it's a tournament, is that kind of like what you've been wanting? Where there's going to be a bunch of matches and one wrestler has to fight a bunch of times.
Yeah, that's what I would look for, yeah. Like you get 4 NXT wrestlers, 4 established WWE wrestlers, and you have an 8-man tag tournament. Yeah, an 8-man elimination tournament that night. That would be awesome. And I think
if it was the established wrestlers, it shouldn't be anybody in the top tier.
Right, nobody that has a title right now. Because I know you hate non-title matches for people that have titles.
Yeah, I hate that, but I also think it would be stupid if you have a bunch of NXT guys come up, one of them has to fight Oba Femi.
Yes.
Right? It's stupid. Yeah. So that's where like people like Kit Wilson and your boy Akira Tozawa and stuff, right? And those guys have a chance to shine and show what they can do in the ring. But then he kept going. All right? Okay. So this is the first time, Jeff, in WWE history that you don't even need to win a match to win the title.
The John Cena Championship.
So how does that work, Jeff?
Fan voting, Joe.
Fan voting.
Fan voting.
So say, who's a popular guy right now who doesn't win?
Akira Tozawa.
Akira Tozawa's in it. He loses immediately, right? Because WWE books him to lose. But because it's based on fan voting, the fans could all rally behind him and vote for him to win the title. Yeah. And then what does that even mean? So Akira Tozawa is going to be the John Cena title holder?
Because fans voted it.
Because fans voted it. So then what happens to the guys who actually win the matches?
Well, they lose because they didn't get the fan votes.
But they won the match, though.
And there's a history of this nonsense happening. When you get the internet together and wrestling fans love to troll, this kind of stuff's going to happen. So I was looking at 2 things that popped in my mind earlier. Both of them 10 years ago in 2016. Have you ever heard of Bodie McBoatface, Joe?
I have not. But he needs to come back and be with Danhausen.
Bodie McBoatface.
I think I would have preferred that than Minihausen.
Oh, I can't remember the exact story, but they were releasing, the United Kingdom was releasing a new boat or ship into their naval yard or whatever. And so they decided to put out a fan vote for the name of the boat. Bodie McBoatface got 124,000 votes. The next closest name got 15,000 votes. They decided not to use Bodie McBoatface because it was ridiculous.
I kind of have a feeling WWE might go the same route. if everyone rallies behind someone like Akira Tozawa, but then you have someone, he's not going to be in it, but like Obafemi wins, I don't think they're going to be like, all right, well, good job, Oba, but we're giving the title to Akira Tozawa. I don't think they're going to do that, especially if they want this title to mean something. They're going to end up giving it to somebody that matters.
Yeah.
But it's still a really weird concept. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. It's better than what I thought he was going to announce, which is going to be like, Club WWE is only going to be $600 a month or something stupid like that. Or
well, that's how you're going to vote, right? You're going to have to subscribe to Club WWE to get your vote in.
Yeah, that's
bringing in those bucks, TKO.
Very possible that could be it. But yeah, I don't know. It was very weird. It wasn't awful. It just doesn't make sense.
Like, I like the idea of honoring your legends and naming things after them. The NBA has done that recently with a lot of their postseason awards. They've started naming them after their classic, NBA players and all. And you can do things like that in the WWE, but let's give John Cena something a little bit better.
But then what if when he said, you get to vote, the crowd gets to vote, do you get to vote? Maybe you get to vote on who you want to win the match.
Because it's
Joe versus Jeff. The crowd gets to vote on who wins, and then they script it so that person wins. But then that kind of goes into the thing where people are getting mad about the Unreal stuff, right?
But he specifically said you don't have to win your match.
Yeah, he did say that. Yep, you're right.
So, but again, is this going to be like a crown jewel championship where like once you win it, you don't really ever defend it? You win it and it's kind of yours. So like if you win the John Cena title, is it just something like a crown jewel? You get it, you're the first winner of the John Cena title, but it's not a belt you carry around and you defend.
Or it becomes, okay, you have the pay-per-view, you win it, and then it becomes like, remember Speed? Or is it Speed matches on TikTok or whatever? It becomes one of those things where you can like vote on it. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all. It's better than announcing stupid stuff like Pat McAfee did at before WrestleMania, where WrestleMania Night 1 was 25% off or whatever. It's better than anything Club WWE, so good on them for that. But I still just don't get it. If you let people vote, it's going to be Bodie McBoatface is going to end up winning the title.
Bodie McBoatface will be the first John Cena champion.
It's going to be something like that. So I don't know. But got anything, Jeff?
No, other than that, I mean, I thought Backlash was good. I'm hyped going into the summertime. I know wrestling starts slowing down a little bit, but again, with these young wrestlers and what happened tonight, and then they announced that the first match for Clash in Italy, which is going to be our first time live streaming and doing a Discord.
Doing a live party on Discord. Yep,
well,
make sure you do that.
Looking forward. Looking forward to Gunther versus Cody Rhodes for that and see what else they build over the summer.
That should be a solid match. Yes. I'm not going to say who I think is going to win. You have to wait for our prediction video for that. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming up. Hopefully WWE gets their head out of their ass and starts making actual wrestling. Hopefully Gingerbread Man is gone.
Gone for good.
If they want to keep Danhausen around, that's fine. I know he's a merch mover, but give him something to do away from
the PLEs.
Important people. Yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for watching and look for us here. And now I'm paying a lot more attention to Facebook now. Facebook also, what is our thing there? Wrestle Stop Official?
I think it's just Wrestle Stop.
I think it's Wrestle Stop Official.
Oh, is
Facebook. Yeah.
Wrestle Stop.
Well, that's the name of the thing, but it's like at Wrestle Stop.
I don't know. Okay,
whatever it is, I'll put it up. Look for us there too. You can see us there or here. Yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching another episode of Wrestle Stop. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can reach us at any of the addresses on screen. And there's a couple extra videos here on the screen. If you liked what you saw, maybe you'll like one of these as well. Thanks for watching.